Hello, everyone! Welcome back to, well, this will be the first actual episode of Progressive Paganism. I am Mike. I am here to discuss basically anything and everything scientific about the natural world that we live in and how it parallels with paganism. So, today, or this evening, I do have a couple references with me, kind of a stack of them. I may not go through them all, but I kind of just want to discuss thoughts and theories behind a lot of these. So let's see. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use some of these, like I said, but it's worth a shot to actually pull up some of these references here. Let's see. And I'll be basically going through, probably not that one. So there's a couple books here. The Complete Book of Incense, Oils, and Brews by Scott Cunningham. I will kind of want to get an idea of ingredients and things like that will go into these. The Real Witch's Kitchen by Kate West. I did see a couple things here in The Master Grimoire, and this is by Pat Kervin Sawyer. And one of my go-tos that I love for just natural sources of things. Oh, there's a piece of incense stuck in there. Grimoire for the Green Witch by Anne Moira. I love this book. I use it as a reference more than anything else. Mostly because, well, it goes through everything. Book of Shadows, rituals, spells, all kinds of stuff. And it gives a layout and ideas, and I like... here we are. So I have a couple little bookmark pages I want to go through. I just, like I said, I love this. So all elemental aspects here of stones and crystals. The next page is amulets, what they can be used for, what the names of them are, what's in them. Make sure I mark that page here. A couple others, and maybe I'll go through this, at a later time. Quick spell charts. Ooh, so this is just the beginning page here. But let's see here. Goals for abundance, astral travel, balance, blessing, consecrating, cleansing, color, element, day, planet, number, rune, herb, everything that would go with it. So, for example, let's say, let's see here. Oh, this is some of these are very, what's what I'm looking for? Abbreviated, so it's good. It's kind of a little bit rough, but you can reference the pages they're on. Such as, for balance, an incense you might use would be frankincense. Let's see, an herb for that: basil, nettle, mullein, comfrey, oak, woodruff. I think that's what it is: frankincense and woodruff. Let's see here, and then let's see, changes, fortune. Let's see if there's anything else here. Healing. Here's a good reference for that. So, healing can be done on a waxing moon. Colors light blue and yellow, earth and water, which would make sense for minerals and water, the life-giving things that we have. Let's see here. What else we have? Herbs: comfrey, skullcap, thyme, rosemary, coriander, cinnamon. All things that have like an antiseptic. Coriander, cinnamon, rosemary, thyme. Very antiseptic. You can actually make tinctures, and you can make things out of them that will actually either be an antiseptic or an astringent, which is really cool. So let's see here. There's a lot of these. This is just, kind of just one of the guides I use. I think that was... I haven't used these references in quite a long time, but it's just a little bit of what I may be going over today in discussion. Now, these podcasts are going to be going into, well, I'm probably going to do them for 30 to 45 minutes. I didn't really discuss that in the intro. And I'll have a break in between. Maybe eventually sponsored breaks. I don't know. But right now, I'm just running this on my own like I've done with all the channels I've done before. So, let me see if I can pull up a reference really quick and kind of discuss what that is. So, let's see here. I know it's like slow going, but that's kind of how these go. Yeah, I'll keep talking, whatever it may be. Let's see. Creating our recipes, processing recipes, substitutions. Okay. So what I want to look for is like ointments. Here we go. 125. I'm looking at Complete Book of Incense, Oils, and Brews. I just want to find some parallels, so we'll go 125. And there we are. So, ointments. There's all kinds of, ointments you can use. For example, this one says, using the ointments, rubbing the body with various effects, magical changes. As the oils is done visualization and with the knowledge that the ointment will do its work. Alright, so let's see here if we can find one. I love the concept of flying ointment. Obviously, it's not something you're going to literally fly with, but it's something that will help you, your, I guess you would say, inspiration, your knowledge, your quest take flight, which is awesome. I kind of love that. Alright, so, okay, here we go. So, healing ointment. Their recipe here is 4 drops of cedarwood, sandalwood, 1 drop of eucalyptus, and cinnamon. I really like, again, the eucalyptus and cinnamon for its astringent properties and its antimicrobial, antibacterial properties, especially cinnamon. Obviously, it's made from a natural resource, the tree bark. I'm not sure what actually the name of the tree is. But that's the thing about these kind of shows is I'm in front of a computer with you guys, so I can look that up. Let's see. Cinnamon. We can actually do a quick search. Inner bark of several tree species from the genus Cinnamomum. Cinnamon is used mainly as an aromatic condiment and flavoring added in a wide variety of cuisines, sweet, savory dishes, breakfast cereal, snack foods, blah, blah, blah. So what I can do is, I'm getting old, so I need to put my glasses on, but that's fine. There actually is a lot of uses for it. So let's see here. Flavor, aroma, and taste. Health-related research. Now, of course, this is Wikipedia. It can be edited, but a lot of this is cited, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. I love cinnamon for this. So let's go over that a little bit. Clinical trials reported lowering of fasting plasma glucose and inconsistent effects on hemoglobin A1C. Let's see. 4 of the reviews reported a decrease in fasting plasma glucose, and 2 reported lower HbA1c. 1 reported no change to either measure. And that is the Cochrane review. Noted that trial durations were limited to 4 to 16 weeks, which is a pretty big trial, which is nice. Actually, let me move the chat over to my live view, just in case anyone gets on YouTube and wants to actually chat. I have live chat up to respond to questions immediately. I also have my Twitter up right now, too. You can find me at SciencePagan on Twitter. Alright, so back to what we were doing here. And let's see, 4 to 16 weeks, no trials reported on changes to quality of life, morbidity, or mortality rate. So that puts it right in the stream of a safe use. What we're looking for is not something, any of these kind of ointments or magical uses, we're not looking for something, this is the key, we're not looking for something to replace modern medicine, but to supplement it. And I love the, on Twitter on November 18th, one of my heroes of the scientific research and just science in general, Neil deGrasse Tyson, posted on Twitter, a good homespun natural remedy will cure the common cold in a week. But left untreated, your cold may linger for up to 7 days. And there's research to back that up. So I kind of that's why I wanted to bring this into light a little bit here. And I'll get to some of the toxicity stuff too, because there is, with everything that's not in moderation or in small doses, can hurt you. Alright, so Cochrane author's conclusion was there is insufficient evidence to support the use of cinnamon for type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Fair enough. Let's see here. Studies done on people who don't support using cinnamon for any health condition. Okay. So it's not a usage, but it does have some properties in it that can help. Let's see. Cinnamon supplementation with lipid measurements reported lower cholesterol and triglycerides, but no significant changes in LDL cholesterol or HDL cholesterol. Another reported no change in body weight or insulin resistance. So it looks like they were, let's say the Cochrane review was mostly looking at, because it's kind of sweet, it's got a flavor to it, maybe reducing type 1, type 2 diabetes. But it did find that it lowered total cholesterol and triglycerides, but no actual changes in the listings and numbers of LDL and HDL. Okay, so I mean, I can accept that. So, cinnamon has a long history of use in traditional medicine's digestive system aid. All right, well let's continue that. So before we go any further, there is a toxicity to it. Coumarin, which is in cinnamon. Let's see here. Toxicity of coumarin, a component in cinnamon, for maximum recommended tolerable daily intake of 0.1 milligrams of coumarin per kilogram of body weight. So if we go up and see how much coumarin is in it, let's see. I don't think it has an actual molar mass or anything of coumarin. So, all right. It does have things like the vitamins, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, folate, vitamin C, E, and K. And these are in micrograms. So it's really, really small. So let's see here. Here we go. Milligram coumarin per gram of cinnamon. So, C. cassia, which is the version of cinnamon, has 0.1 to 12.18 milligrams per gram. So it's obvious you're not going to use a whole gram of cinnamon. When you sprinkle on your toast, you're probably using micrograms, possibly. So, what they're looking at is you would have to have too much of it. In C. cassia, which is, I believe, the most common, at most 50 grams of cinnamon. So we can see as relatively safe. Let's see here. Has a low safe intake level, upper limit to adhere to the above TDI. But if you use Severum, which again you'd have to look these things up, you have it has a much lower milligram dosage, so you need more than 50 grams to actually get any toxicity out of it, even if you like. But there is some research done to a lot of these, but I like cinnamon again mostly for its astringent properties. So that's nice, I guess. What I'm looking for is mostly something that will actually... A lot of these are going to give you magical properties. We're looking for the actual healing properties or something that's actually going to do you some good. Let's see here. Alright. Let's take a look at tinctures. Make sure I have that right here. Really hard to tell what size. 139. Alright, so one more in this book. I just want to see what kind of references we can find. And tinctures. Alright. Now, tinctures are great. A lot of them, it says you can't drink, but a lot of them you can. A lot of them are just scented. So I would go with, if you're doing something like clove. It's a scent, protection, exorcism. So let's see. I wouldn't go with nutmeg. Let's see. Money, sacred, third eye. Oh, they only have too much for that. So let me go back to the beginning. One more time. We got to get something out of this book. Come on. All right. Brews, bath salts, ointments, incense. All right, we'll try one more time. All right, come on, Scott Cunningham. What do you got for me at 163? Had a nice discussion about cinnamon. That was nice. All right, so brews, double fire, gas flame, whatever case may be. Aphrodisia, we don't need all that. Let's see. Now, normally I would have all of my citations here, but it's okay. So, the Isis Healing Brew. 1 part rosemary, sage, thyme, and cinnamon. So 4 parts, equal of each. Again, cinnamon is included in that. So I want to kind of put out there that in this book, at least, I see a lot of cinnamon used as healing, which is great if you look at the early uses. So in the Middle Ages, let's see, just how it was used and how it was found. So that's nice. But it was, again, because we're very tactile creatures, when we find something that's abundant and it has a sort of taste, feel, texture, we'll use that to our advantage. So, for example, cinnamon has a bitter bitingness to it that can be mistaken by our bodies as heat. So, with that, we can see that, well, there was a time where heat healed everything. You'd cauterize things. You would, do bloodletting with hot pokers, things like that. So it was assumed that spices could cure. So at the time, especially in the Middle Ages, when that trade was going on, the cinnamon was coming in, I guess, pretty decently. It's in the bark of a tree, so it's easier to get. So I could see why that would be useful in a lot of this. Let's see. So it says half fill a blue glass bottle with fresh water. Add the ground and powdered herbs to it and let it sit in the sun all day. If by sunset the water has been colored by the herbs, it's ready to use. If not, store in the refrigerator overnight and steep in the sun the following day. Strain. Anoint the body or add to bath water while visualizing yourself being in perfect health. So it's using that as a visualization, but also in a kind of medical field. It could be, again, as an astringent. Most, I guess, barks and resins will pull water. For example, witch hazel is based on another bark. So let's take a look at that really quick. Make sure we got all of our stuff. Let's see here. I like to go back to other examples. Boom. Alright, so witch hazel. Genus of flowering plants. 4 species in North America. Let's see. Deciduous shrubs. Small trees. So yeah, of course, it's a plant. And it is, I guess, tincturized. I don't know if that's a word, but tincturized through like an alcohol and water pull. Let's see. Popular ornamental plants. All right. Garden shrubs, medical applications. All right, I love this. And this, when I keep saying astringent, one of the most famous astringents we still use, and it's actually in things like hemorrhoid medications. Preparation H. I hate to throw the names out there, but has witch hazel extract in it. So, it's used, produce, or it says may be used, produce an astringent. Cooling agent for various uses in traditional medicine, herbalism, and skincare products. Let's see. Medicinal purpose by Native Americans. Witch hazel water. Semi-solid ointments, creams, gels, and salves. Currently, is commonly used in diaper rash in infants. Produced by maceration and distillation. Okay. As an ingredient, as a topical agent, witch hazel water is regulated in the United States as over-the-counter drug for external use only to soothe minor skin irritations. So, I like the fact that we're still using these plants to cure our minor ailments. Again, and it's in there. So let's see this one again. So I can see that as maybe an astringent. I like the fact that they're using that a good bit, but we're going to move on from this reference and see if we can't find another one. And I almost forgot, because I'm an idiot, you have to set the magical mood in any situation. And I like to put that out, again, more scientifically. We have variations on our moods that are proven by science. So we want to make sure that we can have a comfortable environment, something familiar, something warm, loving. And when we surround ourselves with familiar, we then are able to process things in a way that makes others comfortable. So when I'm teaching or when I'm doing these podcasts, I like to be in that kind of moment as well. So, getting off topic now, I'd like to go into something more, I guess, household based. So I'm going to move on to Kate West's The Real Witch's Kitchen. and see if we can't find some parallels. I mean, a lot of these are going to be, you know, a little bit more askew to modern medicine, and that's fine, because we all know, even if you want to say the placebo effect is involved, that's perfectly fine. Again, we are creatures of belief, and our bodies are maintained in a way that even if we think something is going to help us, it can, because all of our endorphins, all of our chemicals are manufactured in the brain or processed in the brain. I should say jumpstart in the brain to kickstart everything in our body to produce those chemicals. So, with the right amount of, let's say, what's a good one? Adrenaline. Adrenaline's a great one. Everyone's seen Indian movies where adrenaline is used as a way to kick people back into a normal state of mind. Pulp Fiction. I love that one. Adrenaline straight to the heart. Pops are having an OD, an overdose. But adrenaline is naturally produced in our bodies too. So little by little, the placebo effect can increase those chemicals in our body to help come out of that. So I think that's an awesome concept. So visualization and determination is the essence of magic, which I love. I love it so much. So let's see if we can't find something else here. This is a great book because it keeps you in the grounded sense of the home. So you've got Witchcraft and Empowering Your Herbal Work, Guidelines for Buying, Using, and Storing Herbs and Plants. Obviously, you need to know that kind of stuff. Soaps and Bathing, Oils, Lotions, Potions, Candles, and Incense. Feasting around the Wheel of the Year. I believe that's important. Because as pagans, we are celebratory beings. And anytime there's a festival or a Sabbath, it revolves around camaraderie and food. And imbibing. Whether it be drink or food or people. I love it. But that's part of it too. So, let's see. Soups and foods to strengthen and heal. Let's go with that. All right, let me go to page 119. Let's see if we can find some correlations here. Now, I did just select a choice few books in my library. I have a decently expanded library, and I do love to sit and read these sometimes. I haven't in a while. Other things get in the way, but that's kind of the point of this podcast or this live streaming cast, to get back into those kind of things. So, let's see what we have. Basic soups, chili soup, hearty soup. All right, let's see if we have something that has a magical property to it that we can utilize. And let's see. I want to kind of stay with the aphrodisiac. Black pepper. Penetrating and stimulating. Again, another spice that includes heat. Black pepper is said to make it easier to absorb other nutrients. Okay. Alright. Let's see. And now it's just giving me ingredients. So, it's basically just ingredients. Okay. Alright. So, let's not go with that one. We want to get something that's going to give us a property. So, let's try that one. 33. Let's go to some brews here. Let's go to some brews. Esba oil, Sabbath oil, goddess oil. Alright, let's see some healing, baby. Let's see some healing. Wealth. Not today. Alright. So all-purpose blend incorporated into 2 tablespoons of any base applied directly to the skin. Lavender oil, frankincense oil, myrrh oil, jasmine oil. Again, I'm seeing resins, and again, pulling toxins, as they say, but more of astringent kind of things. Pain in the joints. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, let's start with the muscular aches and pains. So now we're going to, again, lavender. I think that's more of a scent thing. Rosemary, again, another astringent. Marjoram, cypress oil, black pepper. All right, so properties of black pepper when we talk about them as nutrient absorbing. Okay, let's get some background on this. Nutrient absorbing black pepper. We have a wealth of knowledge at our fingertips every day. So let's see what we got here. Healthline.com. Let's see if this is reputable before I do anything else. All right. Written by Lizzie Street, S-C-R-E-I-T, M-S-R-D-N-L-D, February 20th, 2019. Is black pepper good for you or bad? Nutrition uses and more. So let's... Oh, they have nice little links on this. Healthline.com. Let's go right to the benefits. She is saying it's a powerful antioxidant, which we know antioxidants are ways of battling what's called free radicals, oxidizing agents that like to steal electrons, and from that can break down other compounds in your body, which is why they're called free radicals, because they like to pull other electrons, and they won't stop until they get that electron they need, which can change chemical composition of other things around it. So it's an oxidizer. So black pepper is a powerful antioxidant, they're saying. Antioxidants are compounds that fight cellular damage caused by unstable molecules called free radicals. Nailed it without having to read it. Look at that. I have some things here. Test tube study that found that black pepper extracts were able to resist 93% of free radical damage that scientists stimulated in a fat preparation. Now, there is a source for this. Let's see what we have. Taylor and Francis online. Okay. All right. Abstract. Okay. All right. I'll go with it because they have a... It is... Let's see if it's peer-reviewed. Okay, we do have peer review. Cross-reference citations of that are 110. Perfect. Okay, so we do have something reputable. I always want to check for that. So, let's see here. Test tube study in human cancer cells now black pepper extracts were able to stop 85% of the cellular damage associated with cancer development. Now, another citation. Let's make sure we have a reputable source here. And Natural Product Communications. Boom. This is how all research should be done. So I hate we have impact over time, say half-life, and internet resource. Okay. All right, so this particular one was not peer-reviewed. It's not completely scientific. So they didn't have done enough research. It has a potential, okay, but not tested completely yet. All right, so what we're really looking for is a nutrient absorption of black pepper. Let's see here. Curcumin, I believe that's pronounced. Active ingredient in anti-inflammatory spice turmeric. 20 milligrams of piperine with 2 grams of curcumin improve the availability of curcumin in human blood by 2,000%. That sounds a little bit overboard. Let's see here, but it does absorb beta-carotene and vitamin A. Okay. Or it converts it to vitamin A. Perfect. 14-day study, healthy adults, taking 15 milligrams of beta-carotene and 15 milligrams of piperine substantially increased blood levels of beta-carotene compared to taking beta-carotene alone. So it did help with the absorption of beta-carotene to produce vitamin A. Perfect. So a tincture of that or a rub of that may actually help digestion and prevent diarrhea. Okay. So, again, we're finding the medicinal properties in basic things. Okay. Awesome. Black pepper, cinnamon. All right. Astringents and absorption. So, magical uses for that. And this is when I go back to Grimoire for the Green Witch. There is a whole thing on the back end. So let me see if I can pull something up here. Let's see here. Keyboard tarot. We don't need all that. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. I haven't used this book in so long, but there is actually a glossary of terms or a index within this. They did a really good job of producing this here. So, let's see here if I can find it. Well, you know what? Let's actually keep searching. So, magical properties, because again, the internet is a wonderful thing. Black pepper. So again, we have a causation. Let's get a correlation to what magical properties would be. All right. That sent me... here we are. Antibacterial, relieves cough and cold, improves dental health, antidepressant. Natural antidepressant. Okay, that didn't give me any information whatsoever. We need to find something that can give us some information on the magical side. And then after that, I'll go to a break. I want to talk about... because now we have kind of an insight on the parallels, I want to kind of talk about homeopathy a little bit. But, okay, here we go. This has its roots in hoodoo, folk magic, and occultism. Awesome. Black pepper is used to flavor foods, but it's also used by southern root doctors to work so-called enemy tricks. Awesome. All right, now this is from herbmagic.com. And let's see here. Ingredient: goofer dust, crossing powder, and hot foot powder. Employ jinx, enemy, family, money, job, and health matters, and to drive unwanted persons away. Now, some folks obtain the intimate, personal, biological concerns of an enemy. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we got that part. Great. We don't make any... All right. So that gives us kind of a background of where it came from. I want to see what correspondences. Let's see what we have here. So this is a nice resource to know the background of the magical properties. So let's see. That's not right. That's allspice. We want black pepper. Perfect. Okay. Black pepper correspondences. Banishing, binding, creating confusion, dispelling curses. I like the dispelling curses side. Why is that? Because, again, absorption can actually help bring in healing energy. Exorcism. Okay. Protection from evil, stop gossip, ward off jealousy. Medicinal properties: aids digestion, antioxidant, helps against cold and flu. That's some stuff we've already seen, so that's awesome. So, dispelling curses is good. I find that disease can be considered a curse on the body. You got it from someone else, either energetically or pathologically, or you have some kind of ailment. So I find that as a natural curse that you receive this ailment. So I can correlate that, absolutely. Protection from evil, all right. But binding is a good one. Maybe you can use it to bind yourself as well. That is, it's a very, I guess, not thought of a lot, that people, when they think of binding others, because they don't want them to hurt themselves or hurt others, either in a metaphysical or physical way. People forget often about self-binding. Again, we are creatures of reaction more than anything else, so binding yourself to protect yourself and others is a good thing to do every once in a while, too. So black pepper can help with that. I love it. Okay, so what I want to do here after the break is I want to go over a little bit more about homeopathy, more herbal remedies, Homeopathy is a big thing for me. I use it in my daily life as well, or not as much, but I kind of want to correlate that to vaccinations. I know it's a touchy subject with the same kind of, but it has the same kind of background. So I want to discuss that a bit in the second half. So thanks so much. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. We'll be back after this break. This is Progressive Paganism. See you in a bit. Hey everyone, thanks a lot for listening. If you want to catch more, I'll be tweeting as we go. Find me at Science Pagan, also on YouTube, as well as on Facebook at Progressive Paganism. Hello everyone, welcome back. Progressive Paganism. I'm Mike. I am a pagan priest, Reiki master teacher, and philosopher of earth-based thought. And thanks for tuning in. If you're watching live on YouTube or you're catching me on SoundCloud, thanks again. Alright, so when I left off, I started going through a couple of my resources, talking about some of the properties of healing, tinctures, salves, herbs, things like that. Finding that a lot of the ones I could find in the references I have are based on astringent and absorption. So, amazing stuff that we can find a parallel. But I want to talk a little bit about a more controversial subject in the last half of the show today. And that is homeopathy or homeopathic remedies versus inoculation or vaccinations. Now, I guess I have to put out right in the front my stance on vaccinations. And I am for herd immunity. Again, because I have a scientific mind, my expertise is computer science, of course, but that comes a lot of math, science, and culture to understand how things need to work on a technological side. So, with that being said, I have to have a reasoning for what I'm doing. Logic in the thoughts of programming, even. It's all logic. So, of course, my mind is always on a logical basis. So, that being said, I have in my hand here an actual homeopathic remedy that my children use, and they do it before bed. I'm not a fan of the brand, and I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not advocating or saying I wouldn't recommend, because I have it in my hand, so obviously I use it. It's Highlands brand for kids. I have it because it's readily available. I'm not a fan of Highlands brands because of recent years they've become more mass-produced. I don't feel like it's as effective. But as far as this is concerned, it's easier for them to have. So, this is their Calm and Restful. 125 quick-dissolving tablets. And let's see what we have inside. Now, a little background. Homeopathy is basically a practice of taking small amounts, like micrograms, milligrams per mole. I mean, just tiny amounts of things, and feeding it to your body in small, non-lethal doses, I guess you could say. And it's usually grafted onto sugar tablets. So, a lot of people, because of that, believe it's more of just a placebo effect, which is a good argument for it. Because, again, we're creatures of what we can touch, feel, taste, hear, see, whatever. And when I open up, I mean, for the people that are listening on SoundCloud, but the people that are watching or watching back on YouTube, I have this little tiny pill. It's a little white sugar pill. And I can take this. I could probably down the whole bottle and just dissolve them all into my mouth. There's no real flavor to it. No tingling sensation. Nothing. Actually, there's a slight sweetness as it dissolves. Basically made of sucrose or whatever the case may be. But the basis of homeopathy is to take little, tiny, minuscule amounts of a substance, be it a toxin, poison, or herb, or something, and put in the body over time so it grows a either tolerance, resistance, or an ability to create it when it's not there. Much like, again, this is a hard parallel, but much like a vaccination would do, it will take a dead thing, like say the flu vaccination. When you get your flu vaccination, you've probably heard of the live flu vaccination or the preventative for the live flu. It's a modulated or changed flu virus, an empty virus, basically, with the mark. It's not even a virus more; it just has the markers of the virus, which is put into your body so your body can recognize the virus, learn how to fight it with your white blood cells, T cells, everything, so that when the actual virus will get in your body, it immediately knows how to take care of it. It already has the T cells it needs to attach and destroy. And that's the effective way of doing it. So that same principle is put into something that you could take daily or all the time and build that immunity. Now, the principle is sound. I will give it that. The principle is sound on homeopathy. And it's branched to things like toxins. There is... Oh, my goodness. Let me see if I can find it really quick. We used to use it a lot for pains and bruises. So let me see. Basically, it's bee sting venom. If I can find what it's called, the actual term for it. Let's see. Bee venom and the chemistry of ouch. That's an interesting article right there. What I want to find is the actual name for the bee venom. Let's see here. Pheromones, slightly acidic. I really want... Okay, allergen melidin is what causes it to be painful. Okay. Histamines. Alright, that's great. There's something in there, and I really want to get it out there to kind of prove the process. Basically, the chemical compound in bee venom, or some kind of venom. Oh, God, I wish I could remember it. It's all top of the cuff here. Let's see here. One more time. Homeopathic remedy for stings. Stinky feet. Oh, everything. Goodness gracious. Alright, for bee stings. Bee stings. Honey. That's not what I want. Insect bites and stings. That might be what it is. Apis! Apis mellifica. Alright. Let's get that actual terminology. The actual... we use this all the time for, like, back when I was a teenager, and even into my young adulthood, for insect stings. Mostly mosquitoes. Anything that had that kind of... So, Apis mellifica comes from the scientific name of the western honeybee, Apis mellifera. Okay. The stinging homeopathic medicine. So I want to find out if it's a chemical or if it just comes from the name. And a lot of the problem I have, and like I said, I still utilize it, but I guess I would say the gripe I have, and this could be changed, is when you go in and you try and research things, it's either going to be ads, or it's going to give you a blurb about what it does, but it never tells you the scientific reasoning. So that's what this show is trying to do, is find the scientific reasoning and maybe give it some kind of twist on it. So, let's see here. Diluted preparations obtained by Apis mellifica reported in homeopathic literature have anti-inflammatory activity. Okay, great, wonderful. Methods: an RWPE1 cell line, human immortalized prostate epithelial cells. Was used to study effects on... Okay, great. Again, this is the problem we have. It comes from a good place, all right? So, yes, Apis is named after the actual bee. And, let's see. So it's actually just named after it. Well, that's great. Okay, so... okay, there we go. It is named after because that is the particular... toxin or particular compound extracted from the bee venom, which is about 80% water. Okay, so that being said, a bee's venom is 80% water, so you're only getting 20% of the pure venom, or the Apis mellifica, which it's Latin. It sounds like the evil of the bee. Or it sounds like. I mean, again, I'm not actually translating because I don't know Latin, completely fluently. Let's put it that way. I don't know a lot of people that do. I wish I had an expert in the room with me on Latin, but I do not. But based on root word, it sounds like the evil of the bee, because apis is Latin for bee. So, and Melliferia, is Latin for honey-bearing. Honey-bearing bee. Okay, so mellifica. Let's see if we can find that. I know I'm kind of droning it on, but I want to make sure we have everything completely straight. All right. Mellifica definition. Maybe I'll just find a Latin translator. It keeps bringing me back to the Western honeybee. All right, so let's see here. Let's go into... Let's see if we can find a translator. Latin translation. All right, so this is how we get this here. So let's do Latin. I love translators, man. I don't have anyone here that's actually going to be able to tell me it. So let's make sure we have this correct. So let's do English because that's the language that I speak. Not by choice. That's how I was raised. Wow, that's weird. I put it in Latin Apis mellifica, translated English as echinacea. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right at all. Ah! That didn't help me at all. Mellifica. Give me something here. Alright, that's just giving me echinacea. Interesting. And Mellifica is just giving me Mellifica. Alright. So, that one was a bad example. But again, we name things... It sounds like it's pseudo-Latin. Okay, that brings me to that. So, again, sounding like evil of the bee. Apis being what it is. So, let's see if I go into Apis. Bee. Okay. Alright. Perfect. So that made sense. So, again, we have a pseudo-Latin word. So, evil of the bee. Okay, so bee sting. Cool. Anyway, so they extracted that. If we look at it as That's 20% of the, let's call it, the Apis mellifica. 20% of that, if you concentrate it in a small drop of bee venom, concentrate that 20%, you get that pure Apis. So let's take that pure Apis and let's dilute it. Let's dilute it to where that pure Apis is in a gallon of water. Okay? Or a gallon of alcohol. Alright? Let's take that Apis in a gallon of water and then distill it. And whatever is left is pure. Or take that into a gallon of water, completely mix it, take a sample of that, very small sample, we're talking like an eyedropper sample, then distill the water out of that. What we're left is the diluted Apis, or the diluted mellifica, the Apis mellifica. We take that with a small bit of alcohol and whatever pellet we're using, whatever grafting agent, in most cases sugar pellets, and then we combine that. It's such a little bit of alcohol, but it keeps it in suspension and then places it in a distributive fashion across this sugar pill. So the essence of it is you're taking in the smallest amount, and let's say that became that little part in a molecular structure, let's say 1,000,000 moles per milliliter, or moles per milligram. That's infinitesimally small, and it would take you your entire, probably most of your life, if you took that little bit every day to get the equivalent of one bee sting into your body. But in doing that, let's say you did that for a year, you won't see immediate effects. The whole point of homeopathy is if you were to do that for a year, your body would take in that small amount and go, all right, we know what that is now. So when you get the huge amount of it, a bee sting, it has the ability to figure out, we've seen that in a very, very small amount. We have a little bit of it, so let's quell the issue. And every time you have an outbreak or you get stung, it quells that issue. And then your body starts reacting to it. Now, it's not such a big way as like the flu vaccine, which is an immediate response, immediate taught. It's like your body just read the Cliff Notes version of how to stop the flu. That's basically what it is. With homeopathy, it's the body has heard of it before. I've seen internet articles, half true, half not. But the basis is still there. I know what to look for. And then your body makes a determination of how to fight it. So, in a sense, the correlation of homeopathy to inoculation is there. And I think it has merit. Because you can get different concentrations, distillations, and just, I guess, parts, dilutions of whatever that toxin is. I use Apis as an example because we use it a lot because living in upstate New York is where I'm at now, and where I sort of grew up in. I spent my teenage years, and we have a lot of wooded areas. It's great. You can go anywhere. So, and swamps and mountains. We have a whole feature of land. So with the whole features of land, we have a whole features of stinging insects. So it was something we used. And I found personally, when using Apis, that it did not get rid of the stinging sensation. It didn't make it go away. It wasn't a cure-all. But it did itch a little less. Now, whether that was a placebo effect or whether it actually was my body over time getting used to that enzyme has yet to be proven. But I love the fact that as human beings, we can correlate that scientific research of inoculation, of immunization, and put it to a use somewhere else that we can touch, feel, taste, hear, and see. And that's what it's about. That's what paganism is about. What can I control by touch, feel, what can I see? What can I hear? What can I touch? What can I taste? What's in front of me? What can I control? And with that, we are gaining the control of inoculating ourselves to control our herd immunity. However, and I caveat this with anything medical, and I am an alternative practitioner myself, or as some call it, a supplemental practitioner. It is just that, supplemental. Never forget their roots. Never forget what the ancient people have taught us, because they had to use this to survive up to the point we're at now, and we had to learn from it. But never forsake what we have today. I recommend you try it. Your doctor might say, well, it might not do anything for you. I don't recommend it. And then you ask the question, but will it hurt me? No, not really. There's nothing wrong with using our sense of imagination, using our senses of just willpower. And whether or not these little tablets are a placebo, because I told my kids, hey, they'll calm me down, and they do, or if there is something to the long-term effects, it's something that we're still studying. Call it pseudoscience, call it magic. But at one time, everything that was science was thought to be witchcraft. Magic is only technology we haven't come up with yet. And I'll talk more about the physics and metaphysics of the world around us in later shows. But I really want to touch on that. That in today's world, we need the technology and the medicine we have. But we also need to be able to fulfill ourselves with the knowledge given to us by medicine and supplement that. And that's what we're doing. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind that there's a purpose to everything on this planet. Whether it's black pepper and your vitamin A absorption, or it's cinnamon and witch hazel for its astringent properties, or it's homeopathy and its ability to possibly, with enough time and enough subjects, augment our herd immunity. So for now, I'll leave you with that thought. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, or if you're listening on SoundCloud, thank you so much for listening. More to come. This cast will be done every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's where I'm at, and it's easier for me to schedule. Of course, you can find me at SoundCloud after all the live shows at soundcloud.com/progressive_paganism. You can also find me on Twitter. Ask me any questions or what you want to hear or see on the next episode at Science Pagan. And of course, here on YouTube, go ahead and just search Progressive Paganism. I am the first actual channel you'll see. And more to come. More social media out there. More things to do. And I want to get your impacts. I want to get your input. And we can discuss things. So, again, thank you, everybody. And I will see you next week on Progressive Paganism. Namaste.